everyone. Welcome to our third episode of Sit, Stay, Rant. And our tagline is, what is it?
Unleashing the mess.
Unleashing the real mess behind rescue. I got it right, kind of.
Awesome.
All right, this is Amy, and I'm with
Emily,
Tiffany,
Gabby,
Michelle.
And we're so glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for listening. Today we're going to talk about fosters. Yay! We have some good stories. So we are a foster-based organization, and I don't know if everyone knows what that means, but we don't have a facility. So that means we are entirely relying on people to foster dogs. We can't save anyone without fosters. Everyone in this podcast is a foster as well. I think a lot of people think we have a facility, right?
they're very shocked when I say we don't have a brick and mortar. We don't have a place you
Right.
can come. There's no address. There's no come and meet a bunch of dogs. We literally rely on people's private homes.
Right, exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
lot
It's
of
not
people-
a shelter.
A lot of people will email and be like, what are your hours? We'd like to come see your
Yeah,
dogs.
and that would
Right.
really be awesome. It's just not
Yeah.
feasible. It's very
I
expensive.
don't know of many rescues that have a facility.
There's one locally that has a smaller,
Oh, right.
like
yeah.
a boarding facility.
yeah, I say work. I was
Volunteer.
not getting paid. Volunteered with Canine Humane Network, and they have like a shelter, kind of. It's like a converted house.
They
Or
also
two
have fosters,
houses.
though.
Yeah.
Does somebody live there, or is it like managed by volunteers?
They have to pay the staff. Yeah.
So there's people that are there 24/7, or how does that work?
No, it's like shifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to pay.
Okay.
And our friends at
People.
Small Miracles, they have a very small
Yeah, that's true,
shelter.
too.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, even the shelters utilize fosters.
Oh, yeah.
Our local shelter does.
We are fosters for our local shelter as a rescue
That's right. Yeah.
to go through the stray hold a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because they don't have room.
So we're going to talk about some of the challenges of dealing with fosters and just the expectations. I will start off by saying, though, that the vast majority of our fosters are fucking amazing.
yes.
Literally
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, many of them I consider friends.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like we have like a community feel with them.
God,
We
yeah.
care about them personally.
Oh,
We've
my
been
God.
through a lot with a lot of the fosters in terms of
Especially
what
us,
they deal
this
with.
smaller group, and some of the extended team is super in touch because when you are that coordinator, like, I mean, they reach out for any and everything,
Yeah.
and we are happy, especially with the first time fosters, to walk through because we forget. I do sometimes like that we didn't know anything either, right? Like,
Right,
It's
exactly.
a lot of education and just helping, and most of the time we're able to share. Hey, look, this is what worked for me, right? Like, oh my God, I'm waking up every 2 hours. Like, all right, do this instead. Like, your sanity, you'll save it.
So let's talk about how the process works, right? So we will get requests to take dogs
From shelters.
right? From shelters. Sometimes owner surrenders or local people, whatever. All
Last night.
different areas. We had a dog that came in last night that was found on a park bench with a note and just a bag of food. So that one is with us. You had 2 fosters came in last night, 2 new dogs.
One person reached out. We actually ended up partnering with another rescue, Canines and Kitties. They ended up taking them just because we did not have a current foster for them. So, yeah, we share resources. I mean,
Absolutely. So when we get a request to take dogs, we need to figure out where they're going to go because we don't have a facility. So even though all of us on the podcast foster as well, we can't take everybody. I have a setup that's maybe better than most. I can take more than the average person, but I can't take everybody. You guys all foster. So the first thing we have to do is figure out where are the dogs going to go. So we start the process of looking for fosters. And what we usually do is we will put out a call on social media sometimes and say, these are the dogs we've been asked to help. Is anybody able to foster? We share the information we have, which a lot of times is very little, next to nothing. We might know what age, gender,
size. That's pretty much it.
Maybe we know if it's spayed or neutered, heartworm status occasionally. Not
From
always,
We usually
right?
don't know if they're Dog tested, yes, because they're usually in a
Right.
shelter setting, but
Sometimes.
the things that, right.
Also, the shelter setting is hard because you don't always get an accurate representation of the dog, for better or worse. You know, a dog might present in a calmer way, and then once it settles in, it's a complete lunatic. Or it might be super shut down, and then it ends up being a great dog. So anyway, our process is that we start looking for fosters. So we'll put out a call on social media. We will then also text or reach out to people that are regular fosters with us, because we can't pull the dogs until we know where they're going to go.
That's a good point. We don't.
Try not to.
Yeah,
Well,
we try not to.
a lot of times we will figure it out and say we'll figure it out, which we do. But to your point, we can't say yes to, we can't bring them here until we have fosters.
Exactly.
Right.
Because we don't have that facility. Where are they going to go?
Yep.
Right. And I think the other thing too is that a lot of times when you are asking for fosters, you're asking a foster, you're reaching out to a willing foster that we have on our list, and you're telling them, I have this dog, and you're sending a picture, and that's it. And they're coming back and asking a lot of questions.
Is it friendly with non-binary parrots? Is it
Yep.
transgender,
Right.
queer community friendly? Like,
Right.
does it like warm
Is it
baths at
housebroken?
midnight?
Yeah.
Right. Is it
Is
housebroken?
it literate?
Is it literate? Can it read and write?
That one person did ask if the dog knew how to read.
Stop it.
Yes, they did, because their child was learning how to read over the summer. I think they were in kindergarten, and asked about the dog ability to read. And I was like, please stop. Is this serious? And she was serious.
We do not know that. We will never know those things. I don't even know if my own dogs can. They don't. My own dogs cannot fucking read.
Right. So
can't
yeah,
even
you are just asking. You're sending the picture, and you're like, can you foster? And you're getting these questions back, and you're like, I'm sorry, I don't even know if this is a boy or a girl. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, that I think is the biggest challenge. So we have, most of the time, we have limited information.
Yeah.
And we say, here is the info we have. Please do not
They still ask.
Please do not ask us if it's friendly with non-binary parrots.
Exactly.
We don't know. Everything we know is in this post.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell me, has it been to King's Dominion before? No, we don't know that. It's only been to Six Flags. Shut
It's
the
an
fuck up.
ongoing frustration. So we'll do a Facebook post. We'll show the one picture we have. We'll share the little bit of information we know. And then invariably people will say, is it housebroken? Is it good with cats? Is it good with kids, other dogs? They want all this information that we just don't have. So there's a huge leap of faith with fostering. And I think that's where we run into problems sometimes. And again, I can't stress it enough. The vast majority of our fosters are amazing, and we couldn't do any of this without them.
And it does take a household that has most of the time. Like, my household is, I don't have dogs that I can just take dogs like that without knowing information because of
Right.
my dogs with, their special issues. Like, you've got to either have dogs that are really good with all, or able to keep them separate, or figure it out.
And I think that a big part of it is that from fosters, right? And we have amazing fosters. And a lot of times I think what new fosters don't necessarily understand is that they are the information gatherers for us.
Exactly.
So we can find them a good home. So it's like, no, you'll be telling us if they can fly. You'll be telling us if they can.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
You'll
did
be-
Starbucks order?
Yeah, what their Starbucks are. You'll be telling us if they can climb a fence, and we
That's a great point.
that
You are gathering information.
you're the ones that we really need, and we're so grateful for the ones that will get the text, okay, this is their personality. This is the kind of stuff they do,
Yeah, I think one of the problems is that some fosters will think that they're getting a move-in ready dog. And occasionally that happens. You might get a... Emily laughs. You might get a dog that's
Lived in a house,
housebroken and crate trained and great with everyone. The reality, though, is that you're probably going to have to do some work with the dog. And that is part of the process. I tell people, it's kind of corny, but I'll say, rescue's a verb too.
Right.
And so you are gathering information. You're telling us what we need to know in order to get the dog adopted. So
And where it would be best.
exactly, what would be the ideal scenario for this particular dog? So my main frustration, and again, talking about the small percentage of fosters that we struggle with, is sending a dog back when they haven't given it enough time.
Oh, yeah.
So, question for all of you. What is the shortest amount of time that you have seen a foster come back?
An hour?
Who can win this?
I mean,
don't
we've all
know.
seen the
An
hour.
hour? Is that the shortest?
I can tell you the earliest time I've been texted to receive a foster back
Was
5:30 a.m.
5:30
I've gotten a
a.m.
lot of the before 6 a.m. Yeah, oh, yes.
texts. Yeah, the dog needs to come back.
That's why we have text PTSD.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to run over my phone daily.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just throw it in the creek.
throw it in the
100%.
Not the dog, the phones.
Yeah,
The
right.
phones.
I've
The
definitely
phones.
seen dogs returned same day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foster returns.
Foster
Yeah,
returns.
foster returns.
And adopters, both.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless, and we are very organized. We have a foster agreement, a foster application.
We do foster orientation.
Put a lot of work
3-3-3
into
rule.
Yeah, a lot of work into educating.
2-week decompression, like all of this stuff, 2-week shutdown, like all this stuff is applicable to fosters and adopters, and we send it all with our fosters. But I think there was one, and we've talked about this. I don't think ever feeding dogs and fosters in the same room, especially not the same night you receive your foster.
Right, you don't know
is.
this dog.
But she
best
was
thing.
like, "Oh, they got into it." I might have mentioned this on another episode, and we were just like, "Why the fuck?"
Right.
But then
Why
they were
would you
like,
do
"It's
that?
not working out." I'm like, "You don't fucking say."
No shit.
Really?
There's nothing worse than getting a text from a new foster, 5 minutes after they take a dog. They're like, look here at my dog and their dog. And we're like, what are you doing?
Right.
Or the
What are you
pictures
doing?
of like their kids holding the dog around the neck, and I'm like,
Exactly.
we have like anxiety. I'm like, why is your kid?
The dog's gonna bite the cat.
or the dog will be automatically, immediately on the bed the whole run of the
giving it a
house.
free reign. That's
Free
another
reign. It's like
good
you
point.
don't know this dog yet.
And you're giving it too much freedom.
Go slow.
Go slow.
Yeah.
Give it a area and structure. And these dogs came from the street. And it's funny because you can tell we've all had ones that have come from fosters before in other states, and ones that come from shelters. You can tell when they've been
Absolutely.
in fosters. Like
Absolutely.
and they come from shelters of the street, and it's just feral.
I feel like one of the hardest things for people, fosters and adopters, is leaving the dog alone.
Yes.
It sounds so
Yes.
simple.
They
Just
want-
fucking leave it alone.
They want to smother the dog.
Exactly. They immediately and I think it's because people have this idea,
Nurturing.
right?
Oh,
I'm saving a dog, and then they want to like have that hallmark moment where they're snuggled
Yeah,
with the
it's
dog
not
right
Orphan
away.
Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
It's not Orphan Annie, and you're not
This dog has
getting
had
more
so much
Exactly.
trauma.
Right.
Right.
Well, sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I don't think people understand that.
I do know a rescue that like they mandatorily make their fosters crate. The dog has to be in the crate for like 3 days. Just
Yeah.
potty
No
breaks.
matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
To
It's smart.
decompress.
It is
Yeah.
smart.
I mean, we've got our mandatory quarantine, and we even say, do not introduce them to your resident dogs. I don't care. Give them a week.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Give them a week. Look, Bo's been at my house, what, a week-ish?
Bo's a 5-month-old.
Thank you, 7-month-old.
7-month-old.
King
Cane.
Corso.
I'm not
Cane
saying
Corso.
Cane.
Cane Corso.
Cane
He's an
Corso
Italian
is
Mastiff.
so annoying. I can't say
Then
it.
you're not fancy.
I don't care if that's the right
I'm
way
kidding.
to
I
say
don't
it. I'm
say it
not.
either.
You're
No.
fired. You're
Okay, I'll be fired.
Fired her?
Yes.
I'm really gonna miss my paycheck. Yeah.
Jeez.
So, what do you think trips up fosters the most? Just expectations?
I think a lot of them want to do what they want to do. Because I think I have the dog that was returned the fastest, which was 15 minutes. It was 15 minutes.
Okay, you win.
So
Tell me.
Who was it?
I do
Tell
a
the
lot of
story.
the Amish dog transports, and this
Wait. Amish? What do you mean
Amish
by
dogs,
Amish?
the people who don't drive cars.
No, I don't think people
In
know
that
about the
area of
Amish and the puppy
Pennsylvania.
mills.
So there's a lot of puppy mills that are in the Amish country.
Do not
And
buy
we're-
from the Amish.
Oh,
ever.
not
So
even
going
their
back-
delicious pretzels.
So going back to the cryptic when we're looking for fosters, sometimes we don't have pictures of dogs.
Well, because they intentionally, they pretend like they don't have electricity, but they fucking do.
I've been to their houses.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. Sometimes their houses are more up to date and like my house.
Yeah, but they're also watching on Facebook.
Yeah,
They know.
Yeah. So we don't have pictures. So one time we actually posted for the doodles, and it was a cartoon picture. I don't remember.
Oh my God. I remember this.
Because we said we don't have pictures. They don't take pictures of dogs. So we don't know ages. We don't know what they look like, colors, anything. So So we put a cartoon poodle, and a woman asked, "I want the one that looks like that one." And the cartoon, yes.
I think it was also pink.
Wait,
It was a pink cartoon
is that the
poodle.
same one that said,
Realistic.
"Is that dog going to be at the event?"
Yes,
Or was that different?
Yes.
Yes.
Stop. It's the funniest thing I've
Right?
ever heard.
I want to
the-
meet the pink poodle.
So yes,
That is
It's a
animated
cartoon. Yes.
Right, exactly.
in 3 dimensions.
So this was that specific transport, and I think I drove like 8 hours that day.
Ugh.
And I pulled up to meet all the fosters. So we met at a pretty secure area that nobody could get loose. But
On a
somebody's-
farm.
Somebody still let go of a leash, but we got that dog. Well, I gave everyone slip leads, and I said, please just carry these dogs into your house. Leave the slip lead on and hold on to it.
Every dog is a flight risk, especially right out of the gate.
I get a phone call not even 15 minutes
They
later.
love putting fancy harnesses on them that are not
They
properly
said I
fitted.
put the
Purses.
dog down and I put a harness on the dog because that's what we use on our dogs.
remember this.
And the dog got loose.
Slip the harness.
Left. Gone.
15 minutes.
So
gosh.
15 minutes.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes.
I was at the girls'
was
multicultural
super
night.
stressful.
So that was the fastest one, I think, in
So
our
what
history.
happened? Like, did we got it back?
We had to get a trapper to get the dog back.
Oh, right. But we got it back,
But
and
we
then
did
did it
get
go?
the dog back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But do you
that story.
remember, and Jill, if you're listening, this was the one that their whole neighborhood was going out looking for the dog when that's not what you're supposed to do.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You remember?
I pulled up into their neighborhood. It was a newer subdivision. There was at least a couple hundred houses. I was like, we're not going to find this dog unless it goes under someone's porch or something. I said, everybody, please leave this dog alone. And they had the whole community taking pictures of the trap. They wouldn't just stay away.
Right.
We
Right.
Which
did-
that scares them away
helpful.
more.
But
Yeah, for sure.
this is with going back to fosters want to do what they want to do. I say leave the slip lead on because if they pull,
It's
gonna
not our
get touched.
first fucking rodeo. That's why.
And they wanted to do what they wanted to do and put a harness on the dog, and they lost her.
Wow.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
I
think
will
it's-
sometimes. Sorry, Gabs. Go ahead.
I think it's the lack of listening to people that have been through this so
Oh,
many
yeah.
times.
Yeah, we've
being
learned from
dramatic.
it awful. I mean, it's not we learned because we also didn't know. I think with that dog too, she was a first time foster, right?
Not first time dog owner though.
No,
So, I mean, she's had
but
dogs,
different. Yeah,
but
yeah. That was different.
Specifically looked
And
in her
she had
eyes.
is that the same one that put the dog in her purse or was that
That
different?
was a different one.
Oh,
That was
okay.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
No, not you specifically.
No,
no,
I
no.
did no. I did not put a dog in a purse. But I was at the transport in Frederick, and a woman had driven 2 hours to come pick up her foster. She got lost. She was very anxiety ridden even when she arrived because she had had a rough.
The dog or the foster?
The foster
Oh.
had come from a very far away. So we get there. This was the Butters.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
Baby
remember
Butters.
that dog.
Oh yeah.
Who's
So
adopted
Who's
now.
now adopted.
Butters.
And so Butters was the last one to be picked up, and the woman came, and I had the slip lead on her, and she was a little Chihuahua. She was really cute. She's so friendly in my car, hanging. And I had 2 other foster dogs in the back of my car. I had Mo and
Marley?
in the
Oh,
back of my
right,
car
yeah.
in cages.
And you were
Bigger
meeting
dogs.
her.
I was meeting.
Got it.
She was meeting me at the pickup, at the transport pickup, and I brought Butters out. I had the slip lead on. I handed it to her, and she goes, "Oh, watch this!" And before I could get the words out of my mouth, like, "No."
We should have
It's
put a
like the
slip.
paper towel commercial. No.
It was. It was. She takes the slip lead off and puts the dog in her purse.
Yep. Takes it off and puts the dog in
No.
her purse.
Oh
So
Jesus.
the dog jumps out of her purse.
How big was Butters?
Maybe
Tiny,
no,
like 10
not-
pounds,
God.
maybe
Little.
10 pounds, and starts running
I remember
down
this.
the
Oh,
road.
God.
And the woman's running after her, and I'm just like, no, stop, don't.
All in slow motion.
And so
The worst is not being there and getting texts about this,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah,
Because
so
we
I'm-
can't do anything.
Right, so
you guys are all over it, but it's stressful.
No, I was there by myself. That's
Yeah.
the day I was there by myself.
And Lexi,
And Lexi,
showed up and got
I
her,
sent a text that was an out of breath, crazy text
Yeah.
saying, Butters is gone, and so Lexi came in. Actually, Lexi
ran for her life for this dog.
Honestly,
Wow.
the truth is that we also had people in the neighborhood who were quote unquote helping, and I understand. I understand the want to.
Yeah, it's a-
to be a part of the solution, right? And that's really, it is compassionate of them, but you're like, please stop. Please stop.
Well, because ultimately it just scares them further and further
Yeah,
away.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have found that people will sometimes make comments on my TikToks like, oh, you're always complaining about the fosters and, you know, you don't do a good job educating people. And I will say the same thing all the time. Dogs and people are inherently unpredictable.
Yep.
We can give them the information. We can
Right.
say
Well, then
this
nobody
is how to be
reads it either.
successful. But it's like what Tiffany said. Sometimes people want to do it their own way, or
right,
they'll
they
be
know
like,
better.
"Oh, it'll be fine,"
This
and they
dog
just
seems
don't know.
docile.
Yeah, it'll be fine, and they just don't listen.
And look, this woman was really apologetic. She
Right,
did
of
not want
course.
this to happen.
Sure.
And Lexi did manage to sneak around. We were out there for like 2 hours in the cold trying to find Butters. And then when we finally did get her, Lexi actually snuck around a corner and surprised the dog and caught it. That's how she did it. But
Should keep nets in our car.
Yeah, really. I saw Lexi walking down the street with Butters, and I was just crying and screaming.
Well, it's an awful
Fuck
feeling,
yes.
and
Yeah.
you know, it's so stressful.
Yeah, but that woman, and I think you've made this point before, Amy. That woman will never make that mistake again.
Right.
Yeah.
She's, you know, and
Hopefully.
you know, no, she didn't. Well, she got her
Think
adopted.
about, where was it, maybe it was right when I first joined. A dog had gotten out. It was like a previous adopter of ours. And it wasn't even under the rescue, but I just think about, like, most of the days hate people, but like the amount of amazing
Most of the
community.
days?
Yeah, there's like a tiny percentage.
day?
Yeah, I know. Surprising. This is one example 3 years ago that I remember that I didn't hate people.
3 years ago, and that's the most recent example.
But people came out. I remember this person that was part of the queer community, and I remember that because obviously I love the queers. And they came out, and it was the middle of the night to do shifts to help look for this dog.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was
I
a
do
previous
remember.
adopter just coming out
Absolutely.
of nowhere to help, and I was like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
man! Like people suck, but people don't suck too.
No,
you know what I
it's
mean?
a-
Most of the time they don't.
Yeah. The
It's
thing
true.
that I struggle with is when a foster comes back, it's true for adopters as well, and then I'm expected to be nice about it or like make the person feel better.
This
And sometimes
morning.
I just don't have it in me. Like, okay, you got to send the dog back. It's fine. Like, we've never stuck anyone with a foster. We will move
Even
a dog if we need
though,
to.
right? We
Like,
do say give us time,
yeah,
but and
we'll
most of the
ask for
time,
but we'll
yeah.
always work it out. But it's frustrating because they'll show up with the return.
I'm so sorry. I
they're-
just can't make this
and they're
work.
looking at me to say, it's okay. You really tried for
And
those
I'm
2
terrible at
days.
this.
It's
Go
the
fuck
dog,
yourself.
not
It's
you.
not okay because
Right,
now it's more
right.
work for us and you didn't put any effort into it.
And now the dog's traumatized more.
Because
Thank you.
And I don't mind if a dog is returned, like it's really not a good match. And
Right.
let me say this.
That's
like,
true. That's a
if
good
there's
point.
a safety issue,
Yep.
we're not fucking around.
100%. Yeah. Take the dog back.
I mean, we've
Exactly.
literally
If there's
gone
a
in the middle of
child
the
or-
night.
Yeah, we will go in the middle of the
Me.
night. Yeah, Tiffany has gone in the middle of the night. But yeah, we'll take a child. We'll take.
We're not taking children.
We're not taking children.
No, thank you. No daycare
Reverse
here.
that. We will come and get a dog, and we will
If kids are
take them.
involved
Yeah,
or
we're
any
not going to put
safety issues,
anyone's life in danger.
The people
or
that
anything.
say it needs to be immediately resolved are the ones that are like, I just don't understand. It's not laying in my bed with me, or it won't come up steps, or it's just not opening up.
So what
been
is
9
everybody's
hours.
like? What is everybody's like? Biggest excuse that you hate the most, that you dislike the most? Like, go around. Like, I'm
Well,
curious.
here's something that I hate that I know you guys have seen too.
I'll hold this one.
This is just for foster returns?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
foster
for foster returns. So sometimes someone will reach out and they'll say it's not working out. And again, let me just say this. If it's been a while and it's just really not a fit, I mean, not
Sometimes,
every dog
yeah.
is meant for every situation. I understand that. It's really the people who are calling us after 2 days.
100%.
That just
There's
drives me
the
crazy.
333 rule for a reason.
Right, exactly. So I don't mind that. But then, you know, it's the people who just, again, like they want me to try to make
Console
them
them.
feel better and console them.
You
That
are
just
a good
drives-
consoler, though.
I am a good consoler.
People
but
pleaser.
I'm a people pleaser, but it's exhausting, you know? Like,
It's also more work for us.
yeah, it's just more work for me.
Like, what, honestly, like, ideally, think about, like, would we want someone to be like, I suck, I'm sorry, here's a donation? I mean,
Kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That
That's correct.
actually happened.
Well,
this
that's why when
morning.
you
Yeah,
told
that
me,
happened
I was
today.
like, well, at least she donated.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm humbled by this. This was harder
Yeah.
than I thought.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tiffany, you
that's
want to tell the
better.
story? You want to tell the
That's
story?
Which
for this
one am I
morning?
going with? The woman I hugged the other day.
Well, that, yeah, you,
had to
because
hug
you.
someone?
So I did. So I'm
Ew.
usually like I try to hold it in and just be like, yeah, whatever. Thanks for returning the dog, like doing the right thing.
We do send our interns usually.
We do. Like my wife Kim, I'll be like, because she doesn't make eye contact a lot.
And Costa's dead on the inside.
And
So
your husband will say, well, all right, I'll see you
time
later.
to go. I
Gotta
don't know.
go."
I'm just the messenger.
Time to go.
I
love
literally
it.
just send him out, and they're like, it just didn't work out. And he's like,
All
okay,
right.
yep, I don't know anything. I was just told to come
I
get
was
the
just
dog.
told to get the dog.
So, Tiff, what happened?
So the other day, somebody returned a dog, and it wasn't a good match after talking to her. At first, I wanted to be angry, like, you didn't give it enough time. It's just a puppy. But then when I did see her in person, I did give her a hug when she was crying. I couldn't help myself in this situation. She was really sincere about it, and I try to convince her like it's not your fault, but it really was her fault. But I gave her a hug. Then there's been one time I was a little irritated because the foster said the dog was vicious. He was not vicious. She left him in the heat in her backyard. Do you remember it?
Did
Can
she
I name
TikTok
the
this
dog?
person?
Can I name the dog?
Oh, no, wait, stop. Did she TikTok this person?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'm thinking
Now I
the
need
black
to.
and white dog that was TikTok.
No, this was Bentley that I had.
Yes.
Bentley,
Oh my
the border
God.
collie, who literally he was an angel, and he almost was adopted to this family. So I knew he was good with kids, but they had a cat. Cats are tough with dogs. So he went to a different foster that had no cats. He didn't do anything wrong. She was just intimidated by him because border collies are inherently high energy.
Oh, I remember that.
and
They're
it was
working
the
dogs.
middle of summer.
Oh, yeah. The
And-
chain,
Yes.
right?
We all work. We'd have full-time.
Not anymore.
At the time, right. So it was over 100
me and
degrees
Em.
outside, and this is a long-haired
my
dog.
job.
And she left him out in the yard and said, one of you can collect him. So that was one time
Like
I
she's
did.
taxes.
I did get pissed off because you
Well,
don't
of
leave the
course.
dog in the heat. And we said, do you have a crate? Yes, but I don't want him in my house.
Wow.
So that was one time I did get pissed off.
Understandably. I don't like when people will want us to move a dog. And then when we say, okay, we're going to need a couple days, which
has
is
to
very
be out immediately.
Well, it has to be out immediately. And then they'll up the ante. And they'll say,
You
well,
come get 'em.
the dog is trying to
then
attack
it's
us.
aggressive.
Then it becomes quote unquote aggressive.
Aggressive.
They'll,
And then we
they'll
say,
up the
"Put
ante
it in
so
the
we have to
bathroom."
do something right away.
And then they ask for updates after they return.
That's
my
a
favorite.
That's
Drives
a
me
new
crazy.
recent thing.
That is a recent thing. Where
I've
people
never-
will return a foster and then they want to have updates.
We
It's like,
don't
we don't
owe
have
you
time for
anything.
that. We don't have time for
Bye,
that.
Felicia.
I know, right? But you know what I mean? People will say, oh, now the dog's being aggressive to make us
Right.
act.
Hurry, yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch,
But what
this
they
is
don't
not our first
understand,
rodeo.
I know, and Em and I have talked about this. What they don't understand is that you're now labeling the dog. You know, we're scared the dog's going to bite us. Is it that though, or are you just
Right.
looking for us to get the dog out because you don't want to
100%.
deal with the dog anymore?
It wasn't aggressive when you first reached out.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden
day
has a new
later,
story.
Right. It's
Yeah.
biting everyone's face off. Yeah.
That happened with the dog that I hugged the woman. I said,
Oh.
please, when you do the
I
surrender.
met that dog,
Yeah,
though.
but
He's
please, when
aggressive.
you like fill out this paper about his behavior, be careful on your word choices because this goes on his file.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
now, if he has a behavioral issue, I'm going to have to do a behavioral hold.
Yeah.
So-
And it's a liability.
Yes,
Right,
I
exactly.
really need to know the honest details about
Yes.
what happened.
Yeah.
That was really
People-
smart, Tiff. That's smart.
Yeah, fosters are not always
They don't
honest.
realize aggressive means death sometimes.
Exactly.
That's what. That's what.
Exactly.
When I hear aggressive and untrainable, I'm like, are you serious? Like, do you
Right,
really
right.
mean that?
Are you
Do
serious?
you want us to show you aggressive?
Because those are big words.
Those aren't aggressive.
You
They
wanna
are
Or people
people
will
FAFO?
say like the dog bit me and it turns out
It's
to
a
be
nip.
like an air snap.
That's
Not
a
saying that that's
warning.
great, but it's
No.
different from a bite. And a bite can
They're
be different,
warning
like
you.
like a sustained bite, very different from a fear bite.
A nip.
Right.
So
A
it's like you
warning.
need to
Right.
be, like you said, Tiff, you need to be honest and
Yes.
accurate. And you can't get, a lot of times fosters will reach out like and they're not in wise mind, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Panic
all worked
mode.
up, right. And so they're kind of saying anything. And that's hard for us. It's like,
Yeah.
we need you to just
Take it down.
calm down.
What
take
was
it
the
down.
one? It was over last summer. I forget. And
I probably remember.
no, you weren't. You
summer,
were.
I was here.
No, I know you were here. Shut up. You something, and another volunteer was handling it, and they said aggressive, and we were like, all right, we just need like till tomorrow. And then I talked to the woman. Do you remember? And
I kind of remember this.
and we had her just stick the dog like in her laundry
Yes.
room. And then I was like, look, we're going to figure it out. do you think you can give us till tomorrow?
Right, which is so reasonable.
Which is because it was a Saturday, I remember. It was like
Right,
4 p.m. on a
right.
Saturday. And then I think after talking to her,
Did she calm down?
yes, like I don't want to say like we talked her off the ledge, but we kind of did.
Sometimes we do have to talk people off the ledge. for
And
sure.
also let them realize like we have fucking families. Like it was
do?
like not really. But like we are
left
not
our
doing this.
we
families.
left our families.
Oh,
we live
you're
in
my
an intentional community now.
family. Gabby.
You're our chosen. Oh, Gabby's barfing.
Does Gabby wants a hug?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Gabby
Only
hates
from dogs. Only from
hugs.
dogs.
By the way, while I'm thinking of it, Gabby wants a boyfriend. Even though she
yeah.
is,
I have some pictures.
she is picky and lazy by her own admission.
But she lives in a cool house.
I have
know.
actually gotten banned from 2 dating apps, and they won't tell me why.
What?
They didn't tell me why.
I have pictures of you. I know why.
Was it because of revealing photos?
No.
Were you sexting?
And I'm also not the hookup type. Like, I'm not gonna.
Oh, well, that's your
I say
problem.
that in my bio.
So
Well,
that's
that's
why.
why.
That's why you got
These
kicked
are
off.
your hookup years, Gabs.
How old are you?
12?
What are you? 24?
Are you 24?
6.
26?
All right.
This is
Getting
your time.
elderly.
Gab,
This is your
elderly.
time to hook
Elderly.
up, Gabs.
The only time Gabby talks about ween is when it comes to hot dogs.
Dachshund.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah, we
wiener.
need to talk about real ween with you.
Please
Oh,
no.
let's talk
Send
about
us,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry,
send
Tip.
us some cute boys.
Yes, but do you like tall?
I mean, above 5'10"
2.
Oh yeah, okay.
would be nice.
All right,
So
good.
if anybody listening has a hot son for Gabby,
5'2".
we are taking applications. You can
You
also.
know what's weird? You
Foster.
like tall men, but you don't like tall dogs.
I mean, I like all dogs.
Yeah.
So let's be
that's
real.
true.
So people can, yes, they can email us if they have like a hot son.
I know.
If they want to pawn off.
Not
Exactly.
just for hooking up. We will
Serious
process
inquiries
applications
only.
for Gabby
Oh.
just like we do
Yes.
the dogs.
Okay,
like we
I
are
love it.
fostering Gabby.
We are basically.
I mean,
fostering
she is
Gabby.
kind of like my child.
I know.
We went to the Dominican together, so
Gabby loves
Yeah,
vacationing
Gabby
with me.
is our adopted child.
it was just entertainment for me. I was just watching her and her offspring, fight sometimes.
We actually didn't even fight that much because I was on my best
Oh.
behavior because we had a guest.
God.
That's
We have
her
company.
That's her best.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I know. Oops.
What do you think we
Oops.
could do to make this dynamic with fosters better? Like, again, I'm talking about that small percentage. I kind of feel like it is what it is. Like,
Require
I
a
don't
reading
know.
and writing test.
I mean, what can we do? Like, we give
no
them the
one reads.
information. I feel like this is just part of life.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I
We're
think it's
never
just-
going to get it right. There's always going to be fosters who bail.
You can't fix stupid.
Exactly. It's just, it is what it is.
I will say, and it's a bandwidth thing. We can't do it, but like Brittany
Did you just say
W.
bandwidth?
Bandwidth. It's not on my
Get
cult
out.
list.
I
Get
hate
out.
that
I
word.
didn't try to boil the ocean though.
Boil the
I'm
ocean?
joking. It was a joke.
The hell is
Wait,
that?
what is that?
Oh, when you try to do like too many things at one time.
Oh, my God.
You have not been in corporate America for some time.
Boil the ocean. I never heard that when I have seen.
Oh, it's like a douchey sales thing to say then. Like, let's not try to boil the ocean, guys.
Oh, my God.
But we are going to put a pin in that and come back to
Oh, my
it.
gosh. All
We're
right,
going to
we'll
circle back.
I think I like to boil the ocean.
You would like, you do
You do try to
want to
boil the
boil the
ocean.
world, actually.
I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, I was boiling the world.
So bandwidth, yes. Brittany W does a great job at this. She's very like hands-on with her fosters.
Yeah.
Educating and talking them through things.
Yeah.
We just don't have time. But like I think like that one-on-one, like
I
even
think it makes a
getting
difference, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seeing a foster yesterday and talking to them about some things at the event, they were like, "Oh, I didn't even realize this." And I'm like, "Because you don't
I think
fucking
that's
read."
a really good point, is making that connection. And
Yeah.
when someone is having a problem, if we can have a conversation, a lot of times we can calm
yeah,
things
but
down.
we don't want to have any more
But
conversations.
it is exhausting.
Yeah,
And there are some fosters where I'm like, oh, this is way more work than it's
Well,
worth.
somebody came
Today,
which one?
this
We haven't
morning.
gotten to that one yet.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, we're still talking. I'll
No,
take
no,
my
no.
turn.
You're right. I think we do need to have, but it's like
We do a
We
lot.
already
We
don't
do
get paid for
so
what we
much.
do with the hand
Can I
holding.
just go on record as reminding people we don't get paid.
No.
We actually come
don't
out of
get paid.
pocket,
We get
Yeah.
negative monies.
We get
Negative
negative
money.
money.
but we get ween snuggles.
We have a ween at the table today. His name's
it's
Oscar
not-
Meyer.
it's
No, it's not a ween. Yeah. Yeah.
He looks big, but it's just his head.
He might be a pit basset. I don't know.
I think
A
he is.
I'm just
basset?
Big head, big ween.
A Basset? Oh, I mean, his legs
that a
are
saying?
tiny. No, it is now.
he's a jumbo wiener.
He's
Wow.
so cute.
That-
Oscar
can you
Mayer.
add that to your
Yeah.
profile?
Oh,
What you're
please
looking for is a jumbo
Only
wiener?
accepting jumbo wieners.
Please.
Oh, Michelle.
We have a
A
choking.
medical emergency.
Oh, God. I think I need Doxy.
Yeah, we had a dog that came back today
While we were trying to set up for
while
the
we were
pod-
setting up for
Yeah.
this. Like a literal angel of a
Literally
dog.
the best dog. She reminds me of Mama Julep. Like she looks like Julep's puppies more than her own puppies
Right?
do. But
I
she's
know.
like 5 months old.
She's so
So-
sweet. And what was the issue?
And small. She's small.
Yeah,
She's about like 12 pounds.
yeah,
now.
so tiny.
She was struggling being in a pack, so we put her in a foster where she could just be the main focus. And I met with this foster about 3 times, and it seemed great. Like they were getting
Yeah,
along.
it seemed great to me too.
And this little backstory: this dog came from Puerto Rico. She was living on the streets with some other dogs.
Maybe she doesn't speak English.
Could be.
Well, I mean, that would be a shitty reason to return a dog, but
Racist.
hey, I know. So the woman reaches out that it's just not working out. And I'm like, all right, well, why is it not working out? And she's like, well, she's 100% pee pad trained. Well, that's awesome because most of my dogs the other
sounds
day
amazing.
shit on my bed.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
a pee pad trained dog that still won't go outside is fine with me at my house, but whatever. She said, well, I live in a townhouse and I want her to go down the steps to go outside. And I said, well, when
Pick her up.
when I said today, when she returned her, I said, well, she's not going to go down the steps because she's never lived in a house.
Right. She
You
doesn't know
gotta-
steps.
You
I
gotta
said she-
teach the dog how to be
Also,
a dog.
that I forget what you call it, but looking down is
Scary.
hard for dogs. Like
It
that's a
is.
scary
They're usually
thing. You've never
pancake. You can
seen-
tell when they've never
exactly, you've
seen
never
steps. Yeah.
And I didn't ask if there was carpet or on the steps. Or
It didn't matter at
hardwood.
this
It didn't
point.
matter
Just
at
give me
that
the
point.
But
fucking
that's
dog.
a good point. If it's a hardwood,
Hardwood.
that's even
Right.
scarier.
But she said she won't do steps, so I need to return her.
Wow.
And I said, well, she's never lived in a house. She doesn't know. She lived on the street.
Her
She's been
streets weren't
fending
stepped.
for herself on the
Exactly.
streets for food, for shelter, for safety. And she's like, well, I just want her to go down the steps and go outside. And mind you, we provide the pee pads. All you had to do is
We actually
Throw
even
'em
have
out.
like steps you can use.
like you don't have to buy your own pee
She
pads.
could practice steps.
But also, we were talking about this, like, that's your job as the
Yes.
foster. That's what fostering is that
Yes.
you are working with their leash training. You're working with them learning steps. You're taking them out. I take my fosters out to get coffee. We
Socialization.
social. You take your dogs to Starbucks and sit outside and get used to people. Like, that's what fostering is.
Yep.
Throw some treats down the steps. See if she goes out
Exactly.
to do.
Work with
she was
her.
not trying to
Push
hear
her
any
down the
sugge-
steps. I'm joking, obviously.
Push her grandmother down.
But this simple solution, like
That
we
was
could
a
have
joke, by
offered
the
you
way.
suggestions, and she didn't want to hear it. She just
Wow.
wanted to return the dog. She said
'Cause
it's
it
not a
wasn't
fit.
Well,
easy.
can't you tell sometimes when someone is just done? and
And
it's
then-
like,
yeah.
it's not going to matter if we talk to them.
Most of
They're
the
just
time.
done. Just take the dog back. It's not worth it.
Alternatively, people will reach out to give up and then we'll say yes. And then they've either had like, I don't want to say buyer's remorse, adopters or foster's remorse. And they're like, oh, actually, no, I talked to my wife and we're going to work on it. I'm like, okay, you should have had that conversation before, mostly with adoptions.
Yeah, that's true. Also, it's rarely the wife. It's almost always the husband.
100%.
Yeah.
Whenever
Let's be
anyone
honest.
says, I'm going to check with my husband, we're like,
Unless you're gay. But even then, no, because the
Kim doesn't tell
the
me
lesbian
no.
wives are the best.
Ever. Lexi
I
and
know,
Maya,
I
they
love
don't say
her.
no. Kim, she doesn't make a lot of eye contact. I'll just show her a dog, and she's like,
God.
she's like, who's
See
that
what I have to
little fella?
sacrifice for a jumbo ween?
I know,
Yep.
it's not worth
It's the
it.
worst.
Yep.
What are some other dumb reasons people have returned? Wasn't
They
there one
don't
that ate
eat.
glasses?
Oh, that was a owner surrender.
Oh,
Yeah.
because the dog ate the glasses.
Yep.
Oh, Demos would be
That
in the
was-
shelter then.
That was Fonzie.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Fonzie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cutest little dog. So they
Yeah.
put him
In
in,
a
a,
crate.
crate with a tarp in the backyard.
Like as punishment?
no, for good until he found somewhere else to go, and then they got a puppy.
Oh, I remember. This was
Yeah.
Arkansas.
He lived in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah. Oh, and they got a new puppy for Christmas. I
Yeah.
remember that.
And
Hurts
he
my
was only a year
heart.
old. He was just a baby himself.
He arrived at my house like from the transport. He was such a good little guy. I mean, he was so sweet immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or when fosters are like, well, the dog's a little bit bigger, and I'm like, this is a temporary thing. Like,
Oh,
That's a great point.
you're
That
not
is such a-
adopting
right.
this dog.
When fosters are super picky,
We're like,
I
you're not
understand-
adopting.
Right, you're not adopting.
You're
the
saving a
temporary
fucking life.
home. Right. I understand. Like, okay, you need, maybe a male or a female based on your at-home
yeah,
dynamic.
that's acceptable.
Or you need cat friendly, and again, like if cats are in danger, we're gonna move the dog.
Right.
Oh,
If
of
your
course.
kids are in danger of getting bitten, we're going to move the dog. But it's like we need to gather information.
Right.
That's why you're doing this.
And you can put them in a crate for a minute.
Exactly, you can crate them.
You can crate them for
Exactly.
a
The
second. So
email
get
we
them.
got. Go ahead.
Go
and I
ahead.
think the dog was literally like 5 or 10 pounds heavier. Like,
Right.
Not even.
Wow.
I would get if it was 100-pound
I understand
mastiff.
someone's like, I need a smaller dog.
Yeah.
I get that.
Wasn't there somebody who, we've had a few people, and I wrote this down, but then it said, we can't, I love the people that want to foster the doodles, but then when we're like, oh, they're covered, but we've got these dogs, and like, we can't, my dog only likes white, fluffy dogs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the
Right.
what? What the fuck?
Racist.
That's a great
So
point.
weird, and that's really happened.
It happens
More than
all
once.
the time. When we get doodles and we do some stuff with rescuing from the Amish, all of a sudden everybody's available to foster.
But we can't find a pit puppy,
Exactly.
a foster to
Exactly.
save our lives.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really funny? I hear more behavioral complaints from adopters from the doodles than I do any other dog.
Yep.
Probably behavioral with people, because I will say, as shitty
People,
as the
yeah.
Amish are, their dogs are wonderful with other animals and kids. It's
Yep.
like the
'Cause
the
they're
humans,
isolated
the
with
ones that are
animals.
they can't trust are like the adult humans.
Right.
Think about it.
Oh, it's true, and I think that there are children handling those
Of
dogs.
course.
Yeah.
Didn't you
Yeah,
do?
that's
Didn't
true.
you transact, quote unquote? Didn't you do the
Oh my God,
exchange?
yeah. Tiffany was dealing with a kid who was like 7.
She was giving me the medical paperwork and going over everything that was on there, what the vet did, and she must have been 11 years old, and I'm like, this is like. I am like in a Twilight Zone. Is this kid? Am I doing a transaction of ownership
child?
transfer
I
with
love
a child?
because Kim went with you. That's
The
Tiffany's wife,
children.
and there were like all these children
At
in
the
in
window,
the
it
window.
was like
It was a-
silent or
Right, Children of the Corn.
Yeah, Children of the Corn.
They just kept appearing one by one.
Kim was like, there was a baby in the window.
The baby was like
I
floating in the
cannot.
air. Like we don't even know. Was there a step stool? Like it was just a baby, not even
in
like,
like a
year
white
old.
nightgown.
Yes, and I was like,
That
what
was
is?
a ghost.
And I have a weird thing about feet.
Solstice ghost.
You have a weird thing
I
about
have feet, and all
Wait,
the
you don't
children
like
were
feet?
Barefoot?
No, all the children were barefoot.
Oh.
So all I could focus on was the toes.
With outside
Have you met
barefoot.
Emily? She's always barefoot.
Emily is in an Amish cult.
No, I'm not. You are in a cult, though.
Emily was
I
next
mean,
to me. with
Between
that-
your name being Yoder and you and
Yeah.
your Amish barefoot cult.
the grippers.
I'm not
is what-
Amish.
Wait.
Emily is often barefoot, and especially around here, it's like there's so much shit everywhere. Like
Literally. And it makes me like I'm like, Emily, I can't look at your bare feet right now. She's walking. But guys, I also have a basket of socks up there for everybody. I don't know if you
didn't
noticed.
know.
Brand new socks in a basket.
None of them have socks. None of us
No,
have socks
do you know
on.
I have an
I have
issue with
socks on.
socks?
Well, you don't have, I can buy you whatever you want. What would you like?
I can't sleep
I
in
can't
socks.
do
You have
No.
an issue with feet. You
I
guys have
cannot
issues with
wear
socks.
socks.
Do you want me to, whatever you want, I will buy you.
No,
You just want feet?
just feet because I'm telling you, socks. Woo! Oh,
I
woo,
have
get
to
it.
I
sleep.
can't do it. Can't
Do you
do
like
it.
sleep
slippers?
with socks on.
I,
Wait,
socks-
you have to sleep with
I
socks?
have to sleep with socks on.
That's a psychopath right there.
Do you nap in jeans like Brittany M?
Tiff is fired.
I was actually cleaning the
No
house
napping
in
in
jeans.
jeans.
I was cleaning the house in jeans, and Kim came home and said, "Why are you cleaning in jeans?" I was like, "What are you talking about? These are comfortable. They're ripped on the side. They're flexing. I love it."
Brittany M took a nap in jeans and then
I won't do
and then
that.
she slept in them and then deep cleaned in them the next day because I know.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
so I know Brittany M. I know you're listening.
love
I
you.
know. We love
I
you.
need
but
you
that
to
is
not-
unacceptable.
but you're fired.
Jeans are not
Yeah.
pajama wear, okay?
Oh my God,
My sister naps in jeans.
Oh, I can't do that.
no.
Weird.
No, not at all.
Unless I'm drunk as fuck, I'm sleeping naked.
Gabby, we're trying to get you a boyfriend.
Yeah, well, that might
She
help.
is.
It takes one half a
Sleeping
drink though
naked.
to get her drunk.
That's true.
Are there any awesome foster stories.
All of them.
So many.
I mean, there
awesome
really are.
fosters.
Like, any
many.
stand out to you? Just so many amazing fosters.
There's so many. That's what's so hard. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head that's just like,
I do like Joe Beth a lot.
oh my gosh, Joe
has-
Beth.
Oh, are we naming? Oh, we can name so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
awesome fosters.
I love
Too
the
many
ones
to
that I
learn.
can just throw a dog and be like, I don't know anything about this dog. And they're like, fuck yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't complain. They don't ask questions.
Lexi
they
and
show up.
Maya.
Oh, obviously, Laya are the
Yep.
best.
I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite new
Mexi.
one. So Michelle showed up with 8 pocket bullies one night.
hey. They were not pocket at all, unless
No,
you have
they were
Shrek
Nothing
jeans
pocket
on.
about these gigantic dogs.
So
May or
They
may
can't-
not have bitten me, but it's fine.
Oh, Jammin.
It was like a prison riot. I mean, come on.
Jammin bit her ankle. Jammin, Hamon. I call him Jammin.
Yeah.
And would not. He latched onto her for like 4
God.
times.
Yeah, I was screaming through the window, and I was
It
like,
was snowing. I
Michelle,
thought you were
Michelle.
joking.
No,
no, not joking. Well, I mean, I'm from Baltimore and they're from Baltimore, so we can relate.
I mean,
Yeah.
So her name is Jessica, and I think her daughter might be like 6
oh
years
my
old.
God, I love
So they're
Pancetta, right?
first time fosters. So she lives near you. They literally came, I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, and she knew nothing really about us because she was brand new. And she brought her daughter over in her pajamas, and we had these, of course, scary looking bullies here, cropped ears and whatever. And her daughter was a little intimidated by these dogs, and they took like the scariest one.
No, I recommended Pancetta because we knew.
Well,
Scariest
She was
looking.
looking.
Right.
She was
Oh
scary
yeah.
looking.
But we had met her and she seemed the less fucked up of all of them, and it actually was an amazing fit. And
was
they
the
foster
friendliest
failed.
one.
And they foster failed.
They foster
And it's her
failed.
best friend.
They have tea parties. They wear princess tiaras.
she
my
sings, she
God.
reads her books,
Yes.
I mean, when
Also-
fosters are there for us,
which they always
Oh, it's
99% of the time
Yeah.
they are.
Allie Scott always
Allie
brings
Scott,
her little
yeah.
daughter.
Oh my God.
It's so
Allie
cute.
has
amazing.
she has 2 beautiful little girls, and she brings them.
We love you, Allie.
I don't even know how old her daughter is right now, like 3.
Well, she's
she's Paisley. Yeah,
and
she's
she
our
examines
tester.
the dogs.
Yeah.
She wants to see their teeth. She's a vet tech in training.
I know, right?
I love it.
One of my scariest foster stories was back with Lynn. Lynn used to be with the rescue. Hi, Lynn. And she
Love you.
wanted to do a transport at my house. This was before I had the setup that I have now, and I was in a different house, and it was just like your basic colonial. And so all these dogs showed up, and I was supposed to foster, I don't know, 1 or 2. But I had to foster, like, I just didn't have a good setup for it, so I couldn't take a lot. So all these dogs showed up, and I was like, Lynn, where are all the fosters? Lynn was in charge of the organization at the time, and she was like, I don't know, I feel like some people canceled. And I just had this horrible sinking feeling. I said, wait, what? Canceled? What's going to happen? Lynn lived in an apartment. So I was like,
Oh, God.
you know, maybe a couple of the dogs got picked up, but there were like 10 dogs left. And it's getting darker and darker.
And it's not like they were coming to get him later.
No,
It was just
There's no
not.
plan.
I'm looking at Lynn, and again, I'm new in rescue. So I'm looking at Lynn, and I was like, what's happening? And she's like, yeah, I think, you know, some people canceled. And I said, so what do we do? She's like, no, I don't really know.
Oh my
And it just suddenly
my
started
God.
dawning on me, all these dogs are going to be in my
Because
house.
you have the house.
Because
and
I
she
had a
has the
house, she has an
barn.
apartment. She can't take 10 dogs back to her apartment.
God.
And I got stuck with,
For how long?
I don't even know, but it
It
was
felt like
such
an
a
eternity.
terrible
Yeah.
feeling.
You blacked
that
out.
I totally blacked out. So after that, I was like, I can't take chances with fosters. Like, we have to have things secure. Because it's a terrible feeling when, you know, someone doesn't get picked up.
Or they cancel last minute.
last minute. I feel like that's gotten better. We
Yeah.
used to have that happen more often, but it's gotten better. I don't know if we've
I think
gotten
we've
more buttoned
communicated
up.
more and educated. Like, if you cancel, like we're relying
Yeah,
on
we're
you.
relying on you.
If you cancel, like, we understand emergencies, but
Of course,
most
of
of the
course.
time it's not an
Fake.
emergency. It's just them
Yeah.
being like, oh, I signed up and
I forgot to ask my husband.
yeah, and I actually have a vacation. And we added to our foster application, do you have any upcoming trips?
Right,
If so, like before, like I feel like we didn't ask those questions, and we're just learning.
Yeah, I think we're learning
Yeah.
and getting better.
Foster orientation helps too.
100%.
Like, with our
You've done an
expectations.
amazing job with
But
that.
I do have to call out Laurie M. Actually,
Yes,
she,
Laurie.
Laurie
yes,
M. is
yes.
amazing. She
And
you know-
Melissa, too.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they've done a lot.
I don't know Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa
might.
P.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yes,
she's,
yes.
She's
with
awesome.
yeah.
They've helped us a lot.
Yeah. Oh, Melissa P.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other Melissa.
I thought her name's Michelle.
Her name's Michelle.
Michelle?
Michelle P.
Oh, something
Michelle
No, there's a
P.
Melissa P.
Melissa, I
I'm
know
getting
Who's
Melissa
best
P.
friends with Lori M.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who has
also
Rip
foster-
right now? I love her.
Regina.
Regina.
Oh, yeah,
Love
she's
her.
great.
Regina's
Yes.
great.
Shout out to Scarlett. Thank you.
Yeah, Scarlett saved our ass a bunch of times. I mean, there's
Those
too,
She's
eight
amazing.
too many
boys.
to name. Yeah, I mean, the Fosters.
Luceros are amazing.
Yeah, when we need
Luceros,
them,
yep.
they are
Oh,
there.
Diane, amazing.
I know, I was just thinking of
I'm
Diane.
thinking of just people that like are our ride and dies.
Exactly.
Brittany M, our core team, like
Yeah.
Brittany W, Brittany
yeah.
M,
Yeah, they'll step up.
Victoria, JR, like just
exactly.
all of the. Megan, I hope your trip is going well.
Yeah,
we
Megan's
miss you.
awesome. Megan's on a what is she in a? Is it a van
Hashtag
trip?
van life.
Van life?
Yeah,
For a
like
year.
a year trip.
Yeah, Megan's one of our younger volunteers.
Ashley R is amazing.
Ashley, and then we have Lexi and Maya,
Oh,
who are taking,
Laya are the
They're
VIPs.
coming to, they're
Frenchie
taking care of the
babies.
Frenchies.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do any of this without the Fosters.
No.
They really are the heart of the organization.
I can only take so many dogs, and
Well,
Amy can only
I know, right?
I
Believe
think
me, I
about-
pushed the limits.
Teresa, who took Mama, oh my God,
Cardamom.
Cardamom, thank you. Which we usually don't get a mom and puppies unexpectedly, but
Yeah,
that
was
night
that was
BOGO
a
dogs.
BOGO. Yeah.
the real mystery dogs.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
they came in and obviously we didn't have a place and it was like 10 o'clock at night, so I took them for the weekend, and then Teresa took them permanently, long term, and she ended up foster failing Mama, who had her leg amputated,
Yep.
and Stove Steve.
And then I adopted
we
one.
love you,
and then
Teresa.
I adopted one of the babies.
Yes, and then you have Charlie.
Char.
Char Char.
But
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
what would we do?
I know.
Where
I
would
mean,
we
when
stick
they-
a mom and puppies?
Exactly. It's a horrible
In
feeling
my
when you
bed.
don't know where they're going to go. Right.
Well, and that's a good point. Is by default our team. I don't want to say we get stuck with them, but we do until we
I
figure
got
it
stuck
out.
with a lot of dogs.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have dogs in bathrooms, bedrooms.
I will never
basements.
buy a house without a walkout basement again. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need that. I mean, and now I have a better setup
Right.
for it,
Or
which
you'll-
makes it a lot
yeah.
easier. But it is hard. But I mean, we just couldn't do anything without the Fosters.
I mean, if we had like a facility, it would make sense. We don't, so it's really reliant on
I don't
those.
know. I'm kind of on the fence about that because I feel like the
It's a lot of
foster home.
work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to run a facility, and a foster home is giving you
One-on-one.
more of a home feel.
And preparing them,
preparing them for life
versus
in a
it would be
home.
more shelter-like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever been to, other than Small Miracles, where I went and adopted Layla, my sister's dog, from. Look at Deween. Hi, Jumboween.
Oscar.
So I don't think I know what it looks like, but it's similar to a shelter, right?
It's a little house. It's like a little
Okay.
house.
Yeah. I actually had someone reach out to me on TikTok yesterday saying, is there anything that can be done about the shelter environment, like the crates, and like it's so depressing? And I'm thinking, I don't think so.
I would
just
say
don't know.
enrichment activities.
I guess more enrichment.
I mean, have you seen the TikTokers that dance to make money?
Yes.
The two
yes.
vet techs.
I love
It's
that.
called two vet
Yeah,
techs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they like dance to raise
But, like,
money.
you have to have crates.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, for safety.
I mean, in that environment for
And they're-
safety, exactly.
And I can't even imagine what that's like. I mean, I can't imagine what they're handling in the shelter
Oh my gosh,
situation.
And they're trying to
the
do
shelters is
evals.
so hard, right? And how do you
now you
eval-
see why I can't go to shelters. What happened last week?
Yeah, you cannot go to shelters.
You cannot either.
Tiff.
I made very good selections.
too.
One got adopted in 3
true.
days.
I know.
So-
I know.
Yeah. But
I'm
the
not
shelter
talking about the
environment is
bullies. I'm
hard.
talking about the one I stole with the surrender. But you couldn't take that surrender last week.
I walked out.
It's hard.
I made a good choice. I walked away and I said we can only handle this many.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
but-
hard.
But that's a
It's
great
hard.
point
I
about.
can never go.
Yeah, it's the
No,
shelters.
Emily,
is
never.
They
depressing.
She'll have-
shouldn't have the rescue place the same places where owner surrenders are. Like,
Yeah, the
I
shelter-
think they do that on purpose. I know they
Yeah,
don't,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
No,
saying.
I know
like,
what you mean. I know what
I
you
was
mean.
about to
fuck.
hijack that dog. Like if he would have talked to me in the parking lot, I'd be like, "You can just surrender it to us. We have our own surrender form." But
I
he was already
know.
inside.
Okay.
So once he signed it to them,
Yeah, I mean, the
have to wait.
foster environment is so good for them. They're getting used to being in a home, which is where they're gonna end up,
pooping on
Right.
beds.
right?
Pooping on beds,
right?
yeah.
Then there are
Exactly.
times that it's not great. Like we had a recent newer foster who had 2 puppies and the kids were not good for these dogs, puppies, teaching them bad things. Their resident dog was teaching these puppies bad things, bad manners. So,
right, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen often.
No, that's a good point.
And we really can't be picky. As long like these dogs are safe.
They're
We're getting them
fed.
out
Right.
of being killed.
Right. We can't be so picky
100%.
because then we don't
Have anybody.
any movement,
That's-
either fostering or
Yeah,
adoption.
yeah, so-
There's another rescue I know. I won't name names, but you guys know who I'm talking about, and it is so strict about who can foster and who can adopt. It would be easier to adopt a child. I mean, it is. You have to jump through so many hoops, and as a result, nobody gets adopted. So it's like we have to be careful, but we can't be crazy. Someone asked me the other day about fostering, and they said, "Do I have to be home all day?" And I
Puppies
said,
most of the time.
yeah, with a puppy, but like, no, people are living their lives.
Yeah, you're
We're not
working.
going to find someone who's home all day and has nothing to do but work with the dog. I mean, the dog has
Absolutely.
to incorporate into your life, and it's okay to crate the dog.
Well, we
it's
tell
good.
you to crate them.
Exactly.
Encourage
It's good-
great training.
Good decompression, right? Exactly.
Well, and it takes a lot for us to blacklist. Like we joke about blacklisting people,
Right,
but
right.
if we blacklisted everyone that was shitty or wasn't amazing,
Right.
I mean, we would have nobody.
No, I know. And I mean, we bitch about it, but in the end, we're so fortunate that we have a great foster community. I think, if I can kind of toot our own horn for a minute, I think we're really good about letting our fosters know how much we appreciate them. And not just as fosters, but as people. So we have been privy to people's weddings and a new baby and getting engaged and like all these special things in people's lives. Our fosters have become like chosen family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so we'll send flowers and, little thank yous, and we let them know. I think they feel appreciated.
Well, we do appreciate them.
Yeah,
and
and I think
We
we're
couldn't
good
do
at
it without them.
showing
I
that.
have fostered for organizations, and I think all of us agree when we tell our fosters, look, we're setting up a meet and greet just because the person's approved. If you meet them, you know this dog. If it's not a good fit for
let us
whatever
know.
reason,
we
let us
care
know.
about your opinion. Yeah.
That's important to us.
And we don't tell them they have to tell the person no. Like, just tell me. And
Exactly.
I'll
We'll
tell them.
figure
I'll
it
take
out.
the
Exactly.
fall.
Or play dumb and be like, let me check. Like we're,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just because someone's approved doesn't mean that it's a great fit for XYZ. And we
The
have that
foster
on
knows the dog best.
100%.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
have that on our application. Like just because you're approved for doesn't mean you're approved for every dog. Like some dogs.
That's right.
You know.
Absolutely.
But I think that's a really good point. Is the fosters were depending on them to be that last final,
Set of eyes.
set of
and-
eyes,
exactly.
that safety net, right? They're
Yeah.
they're the last piece of the safety net to make sure that everything's okay. And I've definitely had applications for adoptions where they look perfect. We can talk about that another time. Where they look perfect.
Everybody just
Listen.
looks at them. Yeah.
When
We
they look
have
perfect.
all had dogs returned that we thought were
100%.
going to be good homes.
You have to take chances.
Oh, well,
I mean,
one
it's
didn't
part
even
of.
leave my house.
Yeah,
And on paper, look, and that's a good point. On paper, it might look great.
for sure.
And
And then
then
you meet them, or the chemistry with
We
the
are
dog is
big
not
on
great.
vibes. Like if you come and there's red flag, like it,
Guys,
you know
someone
what?
someone told me I'm a vibe.
Oh,
a
slay
vibe.
queen.
I was like, I'm a vibe.
What?
Let me share one story
What's your
with you
aura?
guys. I don't know, but I'm so excited. Let me share one story before we wrap up. My first foster was a mama dog with 13 puppies. Talk about baptism by fire. I got no supplies. That's another thing. We provide all the supplies to fosters. They should not spend their own money. It's enough for
Unless
you
you
to
want
be.
to.
Yeah, but it's enough for you to be watching the dog. Like that's
Yes,
your job is
that
taking
is
care
the
of the
job.
dog. And I got no supplies. I got no support. I knew nothing about what was going on. No one was checking in with me. And I was thinking, what
When
am I
you
going to
needed
get
something,
stuck
what
with
did you do?
13?
Oh my God.
I ended up making my own GoFundMe.
Oh my god.
And I raised my own money
wow.
for supplies. And I felt so overwhelmed and so scared because I had this pit mama with 13 growing pit puppies.
A lot of babies.
It's a lot of babies. They were big. You know how puppies, when they start like
Yes.
wrestling with each other,
I
they're
start
just
getting
fighting.
nervous, like-
Exactly. And I was like, no one's getting adopted, and no one's even telling me where we are in the process. I wasn't seeing them on a website or anything.
No events, probably.
No events.
Yeah.
And I ended up basically getting them all adopted myself, but that was such a formative experience for me because I thought I never want someone to feel like that.
Yeah.
Like you have been thrown into the deep end and you better fucking swim.
And a lot
So
of
with our
fosters have
fosters,
that.
it's like, we will get you supplies. If you have concerns, if you have medical concerns, behavioral concerns,
I feel
we'll
like
let
we
you
have a
know what's
lot
going
of
on.
resources, and we are all available. Like,
Absolutely. And if we have a mama dog, because that's a different thing, we will often start a separate group thread with a bunch of us who've done it, so that if you have questions, is this normal? Like, when do I start introducing formula or whatever? Like, we're going to walk you through it, because it's a horrible feeling if you just are suddenly left with a dog and you're going, I don't really know what happens next. So I feel like we're good at that.
And we're
I think
very
we're proud
of that.
attentive. You know, we're on our phones. I mean, we
We're on
answer
our phones
texts
too much.
My screen time is bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, we
yeah.
don't have families, and
No.
we just live here together in our intentional community.
And we'll show up at your house if you need help. If you
Yeah,
know
we
or
will.
if you don't answer us and you've had a dog and haven't come to an event, so we'll still show up.
we will.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time, and our next episode is going to be about breeders.
Juicy shit.
Love
It's
you
gonna be
guys.
awesome.
Smash that like button.
Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap.